Welcome back, collectors and curious minds. Today we journey back in time to explore a stamp that isn't just beautifully illustrated, but also deeply meaningful in the history of British philately. We're talking about the 1963 4½ National Nature Week commemorative stamp, a stunning example of how postage stamps were once powerful tools to spread awareness, spark interest in conservation, and celebrate the natural beauty of Britain. Let's begin by diving into the design itself. This stamp was issued to mark National Nature Week, a campaign held in May 1963 across the United Kingdom to promote appreciation and protection of the natural environment. Back then, environmental awareness was still in its infancy, and this campaign, backed by government and public institutions, aimed to inspire people, especially school children, to take pride in British wildlife. What better way to spread that message than through the country's beloved postal system? The stamp was valued at 4½ old pence, or 4½d, which was the standard rate for many types of domestic mail at the time. But its face value was only the beginning, its real worth lies in the details. Designed by Reverend Ronald Maddox, this piece of miniature art captures a moment in nature, framed around a dignified image of Queen Elizabeth II, wearing the diadem crown. The background is a vibrant red, immediately grabbing attention. Around the Queen's profile are delicate illustrations of animals and plants native to the British Isles. We see a badger with a sweeping body in motion, a woodpecker clinging to a tree, a bright butterfly, a resting rabbit, and small birds among blooming branches. These aren't just decorative, they represent a deliberate choice to highlight the diversity of the British countryside, a reminder that these creatures are part of our shared heritage and must be protected. Now, let's talk rarity. How rare is this stamp today? Well, the 1963 National Nature Week stamp was issued in large numbers. Estimates suggest millions were printed and distributed. So, from a general perspective, it is not considered rare in the way a printing error or misprint might be. However, its value to collectors lies in condition, centering, and whether the stamp is used or mint. A used copy, with a postal cancellation mark, is very common and generally valued at around $2,000 to $1,000, depending on clarity and condition. These are perfect for beginners who want to build a thematic collection focused on wildlife or royal portraits. However, a mint condition stamp, meaning one that has never been used and still has its original gum intact, can fetch around $2,000 to $5,000 on platforms like eBay or through philatelic dealers. If you have a mint block of 4, or a full uncut sheet, the price goes up. You might get $10,000 to $25,000 or more, especially if the sheet is well preserved and stored correctly. Now here's where things get interesting. Certain rare presentation packs or first-day covers, those with official postmarks dated May 16, 1963, can command even higher prices. A well-preserved first-day cover, FDC, featuring the Nature Week stamp, especially if paired with an official envelope and original insert, might sell for $10,000 to $30,000, depending on demand and condition. In short, while this stamp isn't rare in the traditional sense, it holds historic value, thematic interest, and a deep nostalgic charm for collectors. It appeals to wildlife enthusiasts, royal family admirers, and of course, stamp collectors who love visually striking issues from the 1960s. And let's not forget, this stamp marks an important cultural milestone. It reminds us of a time when Britain was waking up to environmental responsibility, and when art, nature, and royal identity came together on a simple rectangle of paper. So, if you're thinking of starting a collection of UK wildlife stamps, or building a topical set based on Queen Elizabeth II, this 1963 National Nature Week issue is a beautiful and affordable place to begin. It's not just a stamp, it's a story from the past that still echoes today. Next up, the 1968 Christmas 4D stamp, featuring a stunning illustration of an angel in bold, folkloric style. While it may only measure a couple of centimeters, this stamp bursts with color, creativity, and festive spirit. First issued on November 25, 1968, this stamp was part of the Royal Mail's annual Christmas collection. Designed by children's book illustrator Rosalind Dease, it stood out from earlier Christmas issues with its dramatic shift toward a folk art aesthetic, and to this day, collectors and design enthusiasts still admire it for its visual impact and unique style. Let's take a closer look. The angel, central to the design, is dressed in a gown of intricate blue and white patterns, possibly inspired by traditional Eastern European or Scandinavian embroidery. Her wings sweep across the top of the stamp, made of striking green feathers adorned with pink and white flowers. She holds a radiant star-shaped shield, a symbol of light and guidance, perfect for the Christmas season. The background is a deep red, reinforcing warmth and festivity. On the right-hand side, the Queen's silhouette, in gold this time, adds royal elegance and balances the stamp's symmetry. Now, what about value? While millions of these stamps were printed and used for everyday Christmas mail in 1968, condition is key when it comes to determining collectible worth today. A used version of this stamp, meaning one that was cancelled or stuck to an envelope, is quite common and typically valued at around $0.20 to $1 depending on how clean the cancellation mark is and how well the stamp has aged. However, things become more interesting for mint condition stamps, that is, stamps that were never used, still retain their gum, and have been preserved carefully. A mint 1968 4D Christmas Angel stamp can fetch $20,000 to $50,000, and occasionally more if it's part of a complete Christmas set from that year. A first day cover, or FDC, postmarked on November 25, 1968 and featuring the original artwork envelope, can go for $10,000 to $25,000 depending on condition and demand. Collectors especially prize blocks of 4 or full uncut sheets, and some presentation packs issued by Royal Mail in 1968 with all the Christmas stamps intact have become quite sought after. These can bring in $20,000 to $40,000 or more, especially among collectors who focus on holiday themes, British stamps, or royal-era issues. But beyond the market value, this stamp has something much rarer: charm and timeless appeal. It's one of the best examples of how a small piece of paper can become a canvas for art, culture, and tradition. Every time you look at this angel, with her patterned gown and blooming wings, you're reminded that stamps aren't just about postage. They're about design, celebration, and the joy of the season. So whether you're a veteran collector or someone just getting started, the 1968 4D Christmas stamp is a beautiful and affordable gem to add to your album. It brings with it not only the story of Britain's postal history but also the creativity of artists like Rosalind Dease, who turned a festive moment into a miniature masterpiece. If you enjoyed this deep dive into classic UK stamps, be sure to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another fascinating story from the world of philately. Do you own this stamp? Do you remember receiving Christmas cards with it as a child? Share your stories in the comments below. We love hearing from fellow collectors. Next up, let's explore the story, the symbols, and the current value of this 3D British stamp, which features Queen Elizabeth II and a tree full of surprises. First issued on October 28, 1961, this stamp was part of a commemorative release celebrating 100 years of the Post Office Savings Bank, an institution that encouraged ordinary citizens to start saving and provided secure access to government-backed banking. At a time when many Britons were unfamiliar with banking, the savings bank helped millions manage money safely, and this stamp honors that legacy in the most artistic way. Take a look at the design. The background is a rich purple, which gives the stamp a regal tone, enhanced by the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the right-hand side. She wears the state diadem, and her image here is sharp and dignified, as always, a central figure in commemorative issues of the era. Now look at the left side of the stamp. It's not just decorative. The tree is a clever symbol of growth, financial stability, and time, all things associated with saving money. Nestled within its branches is an orange squirrel, widely recognized as a symbol of saving and preparedness. Squirrels gather and store food for winter, much like people save for the future. At the base of the tree, you'll notice a neat orange beehive, another powerful symbol of industriousness and collective wealth. And perched above, an owl, symbolizing wisdom, reminding us to be wise with our finances. Designed by artist Reynolds Stone, this stamp is considered a triumph of graphic design. It combines elegance, color contrast, and rich symbolism, all within the limited space of a 3D stamp. The typography is crisp, the layout balanced, and the message clear: save wisely, grow steadily, and trust the Post Office Savings Bank. Now, let's talk about value in today's stamp market. Because this stamp was widely distributed and is now over 6 decades old, its value depends heavily on condition. If you have a used copy, meaning it has a cancellation mark and was part of mailed correspondence, the current market value is modest, typically around $20,000 to $40,000, depending on the clarity of the print and the cancellation. However, for collectors who prize mint condition stamps, those that are unused, with intact gum on the back, this stamp can sell for $20,000 to $40,000. Not incredibly high, but certainly collectible, especially as part of themed albums focusing on royal stamps, post office history, or commemorative issues. What's even more valuable are first-day covers, FDCs, envelopes bearing this stamp, postmarked on the very first day of issue, October 28, 1961. These often feature artistic cachets and special cancellation. A well-preserved FDC can fetch anywhere between $10,000 and $25,000 on today's market. For those collecting in bulk or completing presentation packs from 1961, a full set with other stamps and informational inserts may hold even more value, especially when tied to British history themes or royal memorabilia. But remember, collecting stamps isn't always about monetary value. It's about storytelling, heritage, and the beauty of art on paper. This 3D Post Office Savings Bank stamp is a window into a time when saving was a national effort, endorsed by the Crown and celebrated through design. So, if you're curating a collection of meaningful British stamps, this issue is a must-have. It's beautiful, symbolic, and rich with history, everything a collector could ask for. If you enjoyed this detailed look into UK stamp history, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the notification bell for more videos like this one. What's your favorite UK stamp? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, keep collecting, stay curious, and never stop exploring history, one stamp at a time.